Hi folks, and welcome to this presentation on strategic pay plans. I want to start off by talking about trends in compensation so that you can see what some companies are doing in terms of pay structures for employees. Many companies are looking at pay for knowledge systems where your pay isn't necessarily tied to the job, but more so the competencies and the skills that you can do and how well you do them in the job. So in part of the way that companies get to know or to develop the skills that employees have is sometimes they not just make them better at what they currently do, but to make sure that they get more skills, they might rotate them among different jobs in the company so that they can practice different competencies. And again, in order to do that, you need to have a high involvement organization, one that really values the contributions that people have to make. They're very people focused. They really want to engage their employees. They really want something from their employees, and they want their employees to think that their place is a fabulous place to work. So a lot of times we might find that pay for knowledge systems are in place in those kinds of organizations. Pay for results, that's more like commission structures. So you might be measured on, you might get a percentage of what you sell. You might make a certain amount of bonus based on the number of units you've produced if you're in a manufacturing environment. You might even be getting a profit sharing or some kind of a bonus based on how well the company does. So it's not just your individual results, it could be your department results, it could be your division results, it can be your company results that you get to share some of the profits in. So those kinds of things. And one of the statistics we're not so proud of here is this growing wage gap. This is a big trend in compensation because the wage gap doesn't seem to be narrowing. In fact, it doesn't seem to be getting a heck of a lot better at all. So this link here on the wage gap, I've just opened it up. And it's interesting when you look here, what they're showing you is that in North America, meaning Canada and the United States, the average wage gap between men and women who do similar jobs is 17.6%. So women on average across the world are earning 17.6% less than men who do similar work, right? But the idea is, look at in Canada and the United States, man, we're well above that, right? So we don't have anything to be proud of with that statistic. But interestingly enough, you have a lot of European countries that are well below that average, so they're doing a lot better than we are. But you've got a lot of countries like Korea, Japan, Germany that are significantly worse than us. But it would be better if we could get down here and constantly continue to close that wage gap. So that's an interesting stat on one of the trends in compensation. You're going to find more organizations trying to close that wage gap and see how they can adjust compensation levels to close the wage gap. A lot of companies too are starting to pay people who reflect what we call the softer skills. So people who are showing that they have the attributes that fit well with the company, they support the company culture, the company vision and mission, and they're just a good fit with the company. So for example, I was in a store not too long ago, and it was interesting, a large store, and I was looking for something, and it used to be when I'd go into the store looking for something, they used to point me to the aisle. So they used to say, well, just go down to the back and you'll see it in aisle 3. Fine. So I'd walk down the back, go to aisle 3, right? Well, now what I find in the same store, what they're doing is they're saying, oh, let me take you there. So they're actually like, they're not grabbing my hand or anything, but they're kind of escorting me down to where I need to go, and they're taking me right to the product. So there's an organization that's saying, you know what? We want our people to start, respecting the customers a little bit more. And one of the ways we can do that is, by not just directing them, but take them to the spot and make sure this is the thing they were looking for. Because you can remember too, how many times have you gone to a store or somebody's told you where it was, you go there and you can't find it, right? So I just think these are neat things that people are trying to do to engage employees, and if they start demonstrating those behaviors, that can actually mean more money for you at the end. So those are all good things. So this kind of concludes our presentation on the trends in compensation, and we'll move into specifics on pay equity in our next video.